Hi YouTube, this is Felicia with Bible Scraps or Journal Scraps, depending on the channel you are watching, and welcome to another Create, Craft, and Chit Chat with me. This video is going to be super fun, at least for me, because it's all about getting the fingers nice and dirty to create a 70s vintage style. I don't want to say it's not mixed media. Well, it's collage, right? Altered art, ebony styled covers for a journal book I am working on. And it's super fun because my favorite, all-time favorite magazine is the Ebony magazine. It's the premier magazine for African Americans. It's been around for decades, and magazines like this is a great source of inspiration. And not just inspiration, it's a blast from the past. I flip through these pages and it sparks so many memories. So in my journaling, I will use a lot of pages and clippings from this particular magazine. But take a look at the front of my cover. I will insert pictures of a completed journal that I made for someone special. I also shared a flip through of that journal. If I remember, I'll have that link below. But this is the front cover. I like that it's messy. I like that it's not a whole lot going on, but there's interest. And you see this gold here. Well, I'll share how I created that. And it will open like this. I love it. I love the hairdos. It's great to flip through these older magazines because we can compare and contrast, right? I remember when The Natural was in style. I love this lady. She comes from the Ebony magazine. She's available in different poses. And the products, right? Don't we forget, well, at least I remember some products used as a child. I don't remember Duke. But it's great to go back and see what products that my deceased parents more than likely used. Okay, and this is the back cover. Or I might make this cover the inside cover. I might make this the back cover like that. So I've added different clippings. I did some rubber stamping. I kept it really simple. But you know what? It is so full of interest. And once again, using clippings from a vintage magazine, come on, it takes you back. This is priceless. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. This is the fun part. Well, we all know creating is fun, so making the journal covers is loads of fun, but I absolutely love flipping through magazines, especially magazines that pertain to my youth, like this magazine, which is called Ebony. It's the premier magazine for African Americans, and it's been around for decades, and I'm so fortunate to have a nice collection of these magazines. I think Ebony started in the 40s. If it did, I have at least one 40s edition, several 50s, a handful of 60s, a whole lot of 70s, and just several 80s. And let me tell you, when I rediscovered the Ebony magazine, the vintage magazine, it brought back so many memories. It was a blast from the past. You are looking at the iconic Diana Ross here. This magazine is from October 1975. The images are classic. As I flipped through the pages, I was like, we used to use that. I remember that. Is that how my parents dressed? Is that how appliances looked? I'm a 70s girl. I was born in the 70s. I love all things 70s, including, of course, the clothes, but the afro, the hairstyles. And so you will see a lot of clippings and pages from the Ebony magazine on my pages and covers, of course, use any magazine that's relevant to you, that's important to you. I tell you, I will not let these magazines go for nothing. And take a look at this, right? Look at the velvet, the red car. You know that was stylish back then. And then these images can be cut out and used as die cut. And what's great, they're vintage, so they're authentic. Now, you could even use the pages with the print on it. I did that. You saw that, well, you probably couldn't see the print in the pictures that I shared at the beginning of this video. But yeah, just classic. So I already have a lot of clippings clipped out and pages torn out, and that is what I'll use. Well, you know what? No, let's continue. You know, I thought about using this image here, but on the back side, I want to preserve the article. So if you do use clippings, always check out both sides, because, you know, you might want to save the other side. And I do have this image in other magazines. Some images you'll see a lot of in different magazines, and then I have some images where I only have one or two. Okay, so I did see an image that I want to use. It's men, and I probably passed it, and they all have the natural hairdo. It's a Duke ad here. So I know I want to use that, and I don't care for the story. Oh, no. Be careful when you tear, you guys. Tear with ease. When you're dealing with older magazines and books, they can be fragile. So I do want to incorporate that in the cover. Since I'm doing a collage, I can play around with different. I save my magazine pages and my clippings in these large pockets. I will have these linked below. They come in different sizes. Some of you may recognize these. I store my cardstock, and I use these for storing my magnetic cards for my wafer thin dies, and stamps and stencils. These are some favorite pages, like it's the holiday season. Okay, so I don't remember a lot from childhood, and I don't have a lot of pictures of my deceased parents. As a matter of fact, like, I don't have any everyday type pictures. I have one wedding photo. I have a couple pictures of us as a family, but I don't have any pictures in the kitchen, you know, just hanging out. And so when I flip through these pages, I can recreate my childhood. Like this little boy, he reminds me of my older brother. He looks like him. My brother wore the natural. I don't think that qualifies as a fro. And I think I remember these beef sausages. Oh my goodness. So I get a kick out of these images, right? I get to, once again, recreate my childhood. I can recreate my parents' story. So I'm flipping through these to see if there's any images. I love this. I purchased my grandmother a phone like this several years ago for old time's sake. She probably had her original buried somewhere in one of her bedrooms. But I want to see if there's any images that I can use on the front of my cover. I might just stick with what I have. I don't want to flip through so many. Okay, so yeah, let me just work with what. Oh, you guys, look at this one. Roller skating. This is classic. It's a Coca-Cola ad. I think I want to frame this one. I love this because I remember roller skating, and I remember in primary school we had contests. Whoever got 100% on their math, like it was multiplication, division, addition, basic math, if you got 100%, you were able to go roller skating. And I went all the time. Oh my goodness, how I wish I had pictures from back in the day. Okay, so I'll put these back, and I'll just use what I have on the table. I also like to save the ads, the mail-in cards too. Okay, so I'll put this away, and let's just work with what I have. Okay, so let me show you. These are my album covers. This is bookboard, much thicker than chipboard. When you're choosing your images, well, you want to choose images that can fit, of course, on your board. This image here is really big, but you know I'm going to use it because you can layer and you can cover it up. I'm going to feather cut it. You want everything to be scaled nicely. Take your time when you tear your pages, because once again, the pages are old if you use a vintage magazine, so it's probably already fragile. You know, I think I do want to use scissors just so I don't cut areas I don't want to, or tear areas I don't want to tear. So he has a cigarette in his mouth, and I'm totally cool with that because he looks cool, I tell you. Haha. Love it, love it, love it. I sent a handmade 70 Ebony's vintage journal to someone very special. Well, you guys saw the cover of it. Let me tell you, that image of that handsome gentleman with his lady friend, they don't make men like that no more. Handsome, oh my goodness. You know, and he don't look bad himself. Okay, well, you know, if I wanted to, I could show his whole image. Well, you know, let's continue to tear out images, and then we can put together our collage. So I want to use these images, but I can probably use this makeup image here too, and this, the name Fresh and Lovely by Maybelline. So when I cut out this side, I want to be careful, well, to cut out what I need, as to not cut, well, the makeup will be okay because it's on opposite ends of the paper. So I'll do that, and then cut out this girl. Love the fashion. You know, I'm going to keep, on one of the pages, I'll keep the month and the year. Some pages have it and some pages don't, and I'll put that on the cover too. I might keep this ad here. No, if I use this, I can't keep the ad. I'll put that to the side and determine a little later what I want to use. Okay, and so I think I want to use this girl. Okay, or darn it, if I use this girl, I can't use either one of these. And I really do like, well, then again, I can, because you don't need a full image. I love it. Oh, and I'm sorry, you guys, if there's a glare. I love this ad. Have the magazines in the back. This gentleman is holding the paper, posing for the camera. And I flipped through another magazine. This one is October 1970. And I have some pages that are saved. But you know, pages like this that have these smaller images, these are albums. You can cut these out and make little mini books with them. So super cool. Okay, what page was this one? Oh yeah, I love this ad. It's a cigarette ad. So the liquor, the cigarette, and what was that other one? That other ad? I can't think of what it is, but they have the nicest ads. And then this ad, liquor, I love the dress she's wearing. And then here's another ad. Okay. I like this guy. Same guy. We get to see how the packaging has changed. So I like that. I'll definitely use those food images. Now I will use one of these girls. I love this girl. I went through all of my Ebony magazines, and I have a lot. And I cut out every one of the images by this particular ad. There's different ones. This lady, she's posing in different poses. I don't have all of them here, but these are the copies that I made. And so I will use one of these images. I love her. She has a little afro. I totally love it. I've colored some of them. I think I used this one for the last album I did. Let's use her. She's already colored. I don't feel like coloring up one. Totally love these images. I would love to find I know it's not possible, but a rubber stamp of this girl. Totally in love with her. And we all know who this is, right? The great late Mrs. Dr. Martin Luther, the King. If you know where the King came from, you've seen Coming to America. The King. And let's see, any more? I remember bergamot hair grease. Not in this container. Oh my goodness, I remember that. As a matter of fact, I just remembered the smell. That is so weird. See, I love these pages because they spark memories. Absolutely. I love this ad. Now, because the pages are big, the images will be big too. Not all the time. I don't want to say it's a downside, but if the images are too big, couldn't use the whole image. But I remember we had a TV like that. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay. I need a couple more ads because I will be, you know, I might use her. I like her. But then again, well, see, I can't. What will I do with this car? That's a nice spread for a car, huh? I'm going to keep that just until I figure out exactly what pages I want to keep, because there's a seller. There might be more than one. Oh, I love this. This is so nice. Look at this. A seller who sells ads from magazines. And I've seen ads from Ebony magazine being sold too. See, I love pages like this. I will leave these as is. This pertains to history. And I love this. I'll make a copy of that. Another car. You know what? Let's tear out this car. Oh, gotta tear it right. Gotta be careful. Didn't tear it totally. Okay, it's okay. I want to use this car. I like that. And you know, because this is my favorite color, it's brown, I'm going to save this ad for my personal. You know what? I guess the cover I'm working on right now, that could be my personal journal. How about that? Should it? I don't know. I don't know. I love this look here. Totally 70s. And I think I want to use this ad. And then you see here another, I shared this page from the last magazine. Okay. Yep. I got to come back and get this picture. I love it. Love her outfit. I love the stove. Yes, I'll add this one to my personal. All right, you guys, it's time to get our fingers messy. Now, I totally forgot what I did. I forgot what the process was when I made my other covers. But you know what? I have a motto. Don't think, create. It's going to turn out just the way it's supposed to. Now, if you're wondering what my work surface is, well, I am using the pattern sheets from the Vintage Patterns. These, well, it's the first time I'm using it in this way. I have so much of this stuff. It's like a multi-purpose thing. I just shared a video. I used the paper to cover up a journal, and it came out really nice. If you guys click up in the right hand corner, you could check out my whole process. So I'm using white paint. You could use gesso, you could use whatever you have. And I'm taking a little sponge, and I want to apply color down. Now, you know what? You don't really have to do this first. I'm not thinking, because we will, as a matter of fact, this is all I'm going to lay down so far, because we're going to lay down our images, right? So it's a waste of paint, a waste of time and energy to do that first. All right, I'm going to start with this image here. This will be the cover, the front cover of my journal. And how about, do I want to have her hair this way like that? I go like that. I don't want to think too much, because however it turns out is however it turns out. Now, you guys, too, I forget which glue I used. Can you believe that? Oh, you know what? I think I just had a memory. I used this glue to temporarily hold down my clippings. I do know that I used this medium. I sent that journal off, so I don't, of course, have it with me. It did not appear to be really glossy. So I'm hoping this one don't turn out glossy either. And I will trim off any excess. I just want to get it all laid down. The great thing about using this tissue, well, I can just discard it when I'm done. Okay, so this is the front of our cover. I do know I want to use these gentlemen, but I don't think I want to use all of them on the front of the page. So let's cut out this guy and use him. He looks cool enough. And then I like to cut out the words. He's Duke. Now that's the name of the product, but he's the Duke of the fro. I just gave him a name in honor of the royal wedding we just celebrated on Saturday. Okay, what else? Do I want to put her on the front cover too? I don't know. Perhaps I want, you know what? I think I want to put this woman. She is pretty. Now, you know, I was going to cut off and trim her down just to her clothes, but I don't have to do all that. I can leave it. Okay, I'm liking that, but I don't think I want her on the front cover. So let's add some glue to get this down. Let's turn it like that. And then let's add some glue to this guy. And we'll do it like that. Now, what else? What else? I'll add the Duke word last. Okay, so, you know, let's add some of this. I kept wondering, what can I do? Because once you tear out all the ads you want, there's a lot of pages still left, a lot of script, a lot of pages with writing on it. And I kept trying to figure out, well, how can I use it? Well, use it as background elements. And that's exactly what I'm going to do here. I probably should have laid that down like that. And I'll add a little bit down here. Okay, so Felicia, what is next? Alrighty, let's add some paint. Now, in addition to paint, you could use your ink pads, and you'll see me do that in a second. But let's get some paint down. Probably should add some glue there. You know what? If you added enough of this glue, you probably don't need to use another type. I wish I at least wrote notes on my process on the products that I did use. I love this stuff. It adheres paper to fabric really well. Okay, I could just take a brayer and brayer that down. I didn't do that before, but why not? Okay, let's add, where's that ink pad I had at? So this is an old ink pad. I think I used this, I'm not sure. You know what, there's nothing there. Yeah, and I don't have the re-inker for that. Okay, let's see. Let's add more paint. And you could use different color paint. Use my fingers now, they're going to get sticky because I need to adhere this down. Just like that. Okay, let's add some paint. This chipboard, it's raw, it's natural. And in order to truly cover it, might take a couple coatings of paint. But once I paint it white, I will then distress it. So any acrylic paint, I'm thinking, should work. Whatever you have. I'm just focusing right now on the actual board itself. I don't mind. I don't want to cover up her face, but I don't mind white blotches of paint over my image. Okay, now let's use our Tim Holtz Distress ink, and to save this paint on this sponge, I will go ahead and add paint to this opposite side. I don't want to waste any paint. Okay, now let's go ahead. I'm going to use the same sponge, you guys, or perhaps I shouldn't have did that, right? I'll use a different sponge. This is a cosmetic sponge, and add a little bit of brown over the white. So yeah, I'm thinking, you know what, that ink, this glue stick, I don't think I used this over, I didn't, you guys, I didn't use this over my last journal cover. I did use it to a degree, but I didn't spread it over my whole journal. So we'll see how this is going to turn out. Yeah, I think I like the glue stick, but I didn't give total coverage with the glue stick. So I'm using this to make sure my edges are nicely flat. This might take a minute to dry. So I will go back and add some distress ink. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and do this side. I'm not worried about turning it over while it's still wet. I do want to add enough glue to adhere this all the way down. It really has a good bond with the chipboard. Just like that. Okay. And it's not flat here, but I'll cover that up. Okay, so always want to remember the front of your cover so you can have a good, have the right orientation. The holes will be punched on this side, and flip it, and that's how it's going to look. Alrighty, let's add more images. I'll put this guy on a page by itself because he's super cool with that cigarette in his mouth. I think I want to use one of these. And you know what? I was going to say, kind of don't like these images on this page, but I'm going to use it. Let's just tear it. Like that. Oops. Like so. And then, what do I want to add up here? I'm going to add her to a page by herself. And I'll come back and add something there. Okay, so this side is dry. And you could see a little bit of the glossiness here. but it's actually matte. Is this a... No, we're not done. It's more left to do with these covers. I need to add rubber stamping. I need to add more ink to tint it. But I'll put that here for now. And we'll work on this cover. And I want this to be the back of the journal. And I like this guy just like that. He is so super cool. But before I add him down, I want to add her like this because I like the whole image. I like that the year is showing right here, 75 to 76. And do I want to add... If I add him like that, it's going to cover up her outfit. But that's so... You know what? I like that though. I like that. Yeah. Oh, I like that. Oh, okay. I want to keep this yellow going though. So, before you adhere your elements down, I mean, you can do what I'm doing right now. Play around with your position. I will trim off any paper that's hanging over. Okay, that, you know, that's pretty cool right now. Okay, so let's go ahead and add this image down first. Sorry, girl, I couldn't use you. I could not use you. I probably have another one of those ads anyway. And add him down. I'm not being really precise. Maybe I should with him. Focus on getting the edges. Okay, let's turn him like that. Oh, he's bad. He is bad. Just like that. And then, okay, so I forgot to lay this down, right? So let's lift that part up. Because this glue, it's repositionable for a short while. Just that quick. I forgot to lay this down. And I want to lift this up too because I want this in the back. I probably should add a little bit more glue here. That was a lot. But that's a good bond. Okay, so I have my main elements down here. And I'll come back and add the distress ink and add rubber stamping. But you know what? I'm good to go. And I like that I only used this glue stick. Okay, so this is the back. Oh my goodness. No, this won't be the back. Will it? No. This will be... No. This will be the inside back cover. Darn it. The back would have been this side. I'm confused, you guys. Let's see here. Oh, okay. No, this could be the back. This is the front. No, this is not the front. No, this is the front. Oh my goodness. Did you guys get confused like me? Okay, this is the front cover. It will open like that. And that's the back. Okay. Whew. Sometimes I just get confused. So that is the back. Okay, so let's work on the inside. This is the final cover. And I want to focus on this gorgeous lady and one of these guys. You know, let's I don't know, how do I want to cut this? Let's cut out this guy and I'll cut right along. Sometimes it's hard. Oh, this is actually pretty good because it can be difficult when you have an image like this, knowing where to cut. I can have him like that. No, I don't like that. And where's my Duke image? I like that. And here is a phrase, the natural feeling. I think I like that right there. It's yellow. I need to find a page that I'm not using. College. I swear I just saw that page. Is there 2 pages? Look at the doll. That doll is from the 70s. The only doll I remember is the Baby Alive. That's it. This is Avon. Look at that, you guys. I just found a Avon perfume bottle. Well, last year. I think that's it. I don't know where it's at. That might be it, you guys. No, that's not it. It was brown. Oh, it would be so... Okay, last year in Vegas. That was this year. I went to a thrift store and they had a lot of vintage Avon bottles. I didn't buy any of them. Really wasn't... My mom was a lover of Avon. I was so lucky as to find... I'll use this right here. As to find her favorite perfume. I found it some time ago. I don't know how many years ago. And I cherish it. It was called Lahana. One day, my mom wore that. We had a swamp cooler growing up. And she wore that. And I tell you, with the cooler blowing, the smell, it was so beautiful. It permeated the whole house. And I used to have the original bottle back when she was alive. She passed away 28 years ago. Memories are flooding my mind right now. Thank you, Lord. I used to have a hat box that I had for years. I kept it under my bed, and I had that original, her original Lahana in it. And I think I threw it all away. Of course, back then, didn't know how priceless things like that were. But like I said, I was able to find another bottle, probably on eBay, years ago, and I have it. I'll definitely do a journal page about that. It smells really good. Every now and again. I think I've only worn it twice, and I've had that perfume at least a decade. Okay, so I want to lay this down because I do want to cut. You know, I don't need all this. Let's just lay it down. I can't wait until I get in the groove of art journaling and memory keeping. I can't wait to journal years bygone, an era bygone. Okay, now we can lay down the images. Should just keep the cap off this. I think I had it up there like that. She's like that. This is like that. I feel like I had something else, you guys. What was it? Did I have another? I know I had this. I feel like I'm missing something. Okay, let's go ahead and add her. Let's lay her down with her pretty self. Just like, okay, I don't want to cover up the phrase. Yellow is my second favorite color. Brown being my first. Yellow is so fun, so happy. Of course, the sun makes you happy when it comes out, if it's not too hot. Okay, and let's add this guy like that. I like this so far. And then, oh, I should have brought him down a little lower, right? I don't like that right there. Okay, I'm not going to add that because I should have brought him down a little bit lower. Let's see. Can I still use it? You know, I'll put it on the bottom. Just like that. Okay, so I could add something right here. Let's do that. Just so I don't have so much white space. Of course, this would be gray space. Just like that. And okay, let's add some paint. Get messy. Pick it up. This dries fairly quick. I picked up this paint from Tuesday morning. It's available in different colors. I got mine months ago, but it's still available at my local stores. However, I got the bundles 3 for $1.99. At the same time, they had the single paints for $1.99. Isn't that crazy? I don't know why. I don't know why. Okay. Okay, let's add some rubber stamping, you guys. So these are the 2 stamps I'll use. I just reached out and grabbed some stamps. I love my Hobby Lobby hutches. They're right, you can't see it, but they're right here. So I have access to a lot of my red rubber stamps because I can now see them. If you guys want to see my hutches and some of my stamp collection, if I remember, I'll have the link to that video below. Alrighty, I don't know if I used this ink. Let's see how this turns out. I want to add some color. Let's color this. Just randomly going over my collage. And you know, I'm wondering if I used Stays On ink because the magazine pages, they have a coating on it. Don't remember. Alrighty, enough of that. And oxide inks might take a couple minutes to dry. Let's have fun and find out. Nope, you can't see anything. Okay, that's not going to work. That is not going to work. Let's go to this side. This side could be done. Let's add, oh, we got to add paint to this side. Now, once again, you can use acrylic paints, but you can also use your ink pads. I'm going to use this one. I have 2 of these. I was going to donate this one. Okay, so you really can't see it, but if I wanted to make, oh, excuse me, if I wanted to add a little bit of white to these images, just use an ink pad. I don't know why, I just kind of like how that looks. Has a cloudy look to it, and I think I did do that with my other journal. Okay, we got to add some white. Let's do that. And I have to remember what type of ink I used to add my stamping. Okay, and this is done, you guys. It's done. Okay, and this cover, I'm going to call this cover. No, I need to add something around here. I'll figure out. Oh, rubber stamping. Okay, and then this image, need to lay this corner down, and I need to add something here. Okay, you know what? Let's just add paint, and let's see what happens. Perhaps I can leave that open. I mean, you don't have to cover every square inch of your cover. It's okay to have white space, right? That's all right. You know, I might add a sticker there. Or just rubber stamping. Okay, almost done. I decided I did need to add an image here. So, this is one of the Duke fellas. He was in that group of 4. Just cut him out, and we'll put him just like that. I still haven't figured out what I used to rubber stamp, because I went back and watched my flip through of my covers, and the stamping looks really good. In watching the video, I did realize I used different types of tape on those covers too, and apparently I didn't do that here. But we are going to add some foiling, because I did use that in my covers. So happy to have that video to watch. So I'm using this sheet. Actually, you know, I put the packaging away, but this is sticky back tape, and it's the dotted tape. And I am going to apply sporadically adhesive dots down in different places. And I know when the adhesive has been applied down, when there's no adhesive on the liner. And I'm using my foil scraps. And let's see what happens. This scrap happens to be from an embossing folder that I use. Let's add some here to this guy, and then here. Now, because the adhesive is dotted, if I was applying just solid adhesive, then I would have solid foiling, or I would have the pattern, the chevron pattern. Okay, so I totally forgot everywhere where I applied adhesive, so I'll just do that. This is cool, right? So this is that adhesive. I picked up a lot of this years ago. I forgot the site. It's probably no longer in operation, but I remember when it was $1, and I stacked up, because this tape is great for intricate die. Guys, it's the next morning, and I got company. I got a toddler. You'll hear him in a second, and then a 5-month-old, which my husband is holding. So I apologize in advance for any distractions. Okay, so I'm going to use this beautiful scripted rubber stamp. I think it's a vintage stamp. Sometimes there's dates on it. This one don't have a date. And you know what? I will use our Fun Stampers Journey ink fusion blend. This is a blend of pigment and dye ink. Now with this ink, you do have to let it dry for a couple minutes, or you can heat set it. You see here, I've added, no. I've added stamping already, and I do like the impression. So I'll randomly stamp. All right, you guys, I'm done. I stamped both sides of my cover. I let it air dry for a couple minutes. I do have some smearing, but the great thing about altered art and mixed media, it can be messy. It's charming when it's not perfect. So I want this as my front cover, and this will be the front inside cover. And for the back, okay, I want this as the inside cover and this as the back. Okay, I have just completed book or journal covers for another vintage 70s Ebony magazine inspired journal. I don't know, I might keep this one or I might sell it. We'll see. Well, if you have been inspired by my creativity, why not give me a thumbs up and like this video? If you have not subscribed, what are you waiting on? Right now is the perfect time to do so. Hit that subscribe button. Well, I want to thank you all for watching. As always, blessings.